True, because
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'll just take a 10-minute clip out of there.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so.
So you moved back in.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I have my own space. And depending on vulnerabilities, I'm better at keeping boundaries than other times, but.
Mm-hmm. It's good that you're aware of that.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and I know that his behaviors haven't changed. I have to remind myself that I've changed and I can't expect that he's changed.
Right.
And,
Right. Yeah, because you've been working on yourself since you left, you know?
oh yes.
So, since before you left.
Yes, and getting stronger.
Right.
And learning to set boundaries that and using a dear man. I actually used a dear man on my son I taught my son, or took him and his girlfriend through the steps to just advocate for themselves on their upcoming wedding date, or the fact that they wanted support for their wedding. So
Right? Did they ever get that?
mm-hmm.
Oh, they did?
Yes. At the end of that, they agreed that her family agreed that they would support them. So,
Like reluctantly, or they actually?
Mom is on board. Stepdad's not really on board. Stepdad's still kind of taking shots at my soon-to-be daughter-in-law. So, it was really validating that they initially came to me for advice and then came back to me and said, "Can you teach us?"
That's awesome.
Yes.
So they see all the work that you've done.
Yes, and they see that, they see the tools that we use, the diary card and the book, and they were very interested, and so my ex-husband makes fun of it.
Yeah.
He'll like, "Oh, why don't you do a dear man?" Or I'd like to think in the back of his head he's also curious and learning and has seen a change, so yeah. There was, I still keep my distance because he's still a very strong personality and still very aggressive. I'll still say things like, "Are you yelling? Are you angry because your fists are clenched and your voice is raised?" And no, I'm not yelling. I'm just telling you whatever. And I'll point it out, and then I'll just, because that helps me be mindful and get back into my.
Yeah. Because then you're observing. You're just stating what you see. You're not like judging the way that he's
You're right.
Or saying,
You're right.
"You're so angry."
Yes, you're right.
I'm seeing you with clenched fists.
Yes. No, right. I never thought of that. Observe. One thing that happened, he, like physically, he'll like move me aside, and then he had called me honey, which we talked about it. I did talk to him about that. I said, often in school when I'm addressing children and I don't know their name, that is sort of an endearing term that keeps them at ease. I don't say it for any inappropriateness. I said, so there may be times I may accidentally say, "Honey, can you do this?" So I because he says, "Oh no, I'm going to have to be really careful." And I said, "I understand and I appreciate that you're trying to be careful, and I may do the same." And then at one point we were passing in the kitchen or doing something, and he grabbed me by the waist, and I was dressed I thought I looked really pretty in it, so he grabbed me by the waist and moved me aside, and it wasn't it wasn't, to me it felt intentional, and it was inappropriate in my opinion, because we're not married and he shouldn't touch me that way.
Mm-hmm.
And right away I was wondering what I did, or what could I have done to give him the impression that it was okay.
You didn't necessarily do anything.
Yeah, I wonder if it goes back to like where in the marriage it became just a habit for me to, well, it must be my fault. Even when it wasn't, it was. And he would even say, well, no, it's your fault because.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the marriage, when I was really vulnerable or drinking or both, and he'd do something, and then that's when I would find that I would cut, like, okay, I'm not a good wife because I don't submit to my husband, and so that same evening, like an hour later, I was doing my hair for something, and the curling iron fell and landed on my shoulder, and I was wearing a tank top, and it burned. And right away my mind went, well, you deserve that because you did something to encourage him to touch you that way. And I thought right away, I'm like, I have to talk to Lindsay about that.
Yeah.
Because that thinking is, it's not,
self-destructive?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, you're judging yourself, for all these things that you're not doing. You're, like making assumptions to make it okay that he did this or that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, I'm thinking because inside I'm feeling violated.
Yeah.
So am I trying to bury that hurt or that wound, or trying to talk myself out of, well, you shouldn't feel violated? Maybe because that's such a hurtful, so very, that's a deep wound.
Yeah.
To be violated, and so I'm trying to make the wound less by talking myself. But yeah, it's a messy.
Yeah, that might be a good EMDR.
I think so.
Subject for future, because that kind of stuff went on since you were a child, right?
True.
With your parents.
Yes.
So that kind of runs deeply. Like, it must be my fault.
Right.
Like, other people aren't responsible for their actions, or if I get treated inappropriately, I did something to deserve that.
Right, something I did wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew I needed to share that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the kids and Amanda is so much happier with me there.
Oh, good.
She seems very happy. Well, they all do.
I'm sure it feels more normal to them.
Yeah. But even Amanda will remind me, Mom, that's something you said you wouldn't do. When I find myself doing chores and stuff.
Yeah. She's holding you accountable.
Yes, that's great. And I do set boundaries and just try to, praise Eric when he does what's expected.
Mm-hmm.
And try to recognize it, rather than beat him down all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see that happening from my ex-husband. He's just constantly on Eric. and he'll just like yell repeatedly without even giving him time to respond. Or, you know, if another adult is just finishing up a phone call or just stepped into another room, you know, you don't yell at them repeatedly because they didn't jump up. And the other thing I observed is when I need something from him, he responds so quickly for me. And I so appreciate that.
Eric does?
Yeah, Eric does. Yes. And I feel like I'm observing that there's not a lot of the things that are said to Eric through the course of a day are negative. Like, don't do this or don't do that, or that's so immature, or leave the dog alone. You know, you're hurting the dog. Do you even? And so I did bring it to my daughter's attention, and